Buying a home in the US used to feel like a milestone, a sign you'd made it. It meant you had stability, a future, a financial foundation. But right now, it feels more like a fantasy because something's changed. Not just prices, the entire system. And if you're trying to figure out how anyone actually buys a home today, you're not imagining it. It really is harder. Let's rewind. A home isn't just where you live, and it's been the go-to way Americans build wealth. It's the biggest financial asset most middle-class families have. It appreciates over time. You can use it as collateral. It helps you build credit, borrow, even retire. Plus, no landlord can kick you out. So it makes sense that for decades, owning a home has symbolized security, success, belonging, and for a long time, it was at least within reach. Now let's talk about the disconnect. Back in the early 70s, the median U.S. household income was about $10,000, and the median home price, around $29,000, roughly 3 times income. That was manageable. You could graduate high school, get a full-time job with benefits, and realistically expect to buy a home. Fast forward to today, median income, around $70,000. Median home price, pushing $450,000. That's more than 6 times income. It doesn't take a finance degree to realize that math doesn't work anymore. The dream of homeownership hasn't disappeared, but it's become a lot more expensive to chase. Now, you might think, okay, homes cost more. That's inflation. But here's the twist. It's not just about prices, it's about supply. There simply aren't enough homes to go around. In fact, the percentage of homes on the market right now, the homeowner vacancy rate, is at its lowest level on record. Why? Well, partly because of local zoning laws. Rules that control where you can build, what you can build, and how dense that housing can be. In many areas, you can't even build apartments or duplexes, only single-family homes. That chokes off supply. And the result? Fewer homes. And the ones that do exist are more expensive, especially on the low end of the market. Homes under $200,000 rapidly disappearing. Meanwhile, million-dollar listings are climbing. It's not just that homes are unaffordable, like affordable homes barely exist. Now let's layer in another headache. Interest rates. For decades, mortgage rates were generally going down. That made homes easier to buy, even if the sticker price went up. But recently, that flipped. Hard. In 2020, the pandemic caused a housing frenzy. People wanted more space, more privacy, and fast. So demand soared. Prices jumped. Then in 2022, the Fed raised interest rates to combat inflation. And just like that, mortgage rates doubled. That meant your monthly payment could jump by hundreds, even thousands overnight. Now, housing is expensive in 2 ways. Price tags are high, and so is the cost to borrow. Even worse, existing homeowners locked into 3% rates don't want to sell because buying a new home would mean taking on a 7% mortgage. So they stay, and the housing market gets even tighter. And these obstacles? They don't fall equally. People of color are more likely to be denied mortgage loans, even when they have similar income and credit scores. It's a deeply rooted problem, and it makes access to home ownership and wealth even more unequal. Zillow and other trackers show that the average monthly housing burden for new buyers is now at historic highs. For many, owning a home feels not just difficult, but out of reach entirely. So now the big question, can you still build wealth without buying a home? The truth is, yes, but it takes a different mindset. Your home can go up in value, but so can stocks, mutual funds, bonds, even REITs. All investments carry risk, even real estate. Look at 2008. Housing crashed. People lost everything. Meanwhile, long-term investors who stuck with the stock market, many recovered and even thrived. Home ownership is a powerful tool, but it's not the only one. If you're renting and investing wisely, you can still build a future on your terms. So yeah, buying a home in the US today is harder than it's ever been. But don't confuse that with failure. The rules have changed, but your options haven't disappeared. Smart decisions, not just home ownership, build wealth. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Because in this market, information might be your most valuable asset.